Hey there, crafty friend. Suzanne here in the studio today to talk about the Evergreen Scrapbooking Workshop from close to my heart. This is a really, really nice scrapbooking workshop, but for various reasons, I decided not to get the workshop and just to get the paper pack and sticker sheet and then see how close I could come to doing the workshop. And I have to tell you, although I am happy with my pages, I would not recommend it on this particular workshop. There are so many die cuts in the embellishment pack and in the workshop itself that you would have to substitute for, that it took me a really long time. And I had to make a lot of substitutions. So this is one where I would say it is worth the money to get the scrapbooking workshop. But let me go ahead and show you. One of the other things in the workshop was they had several of the background papers were exclusive workshop papers, so I didn't have those. So in order to substitute for those, I decided to use the current this mix-in here to do some of the background pages, and I like how that turned out. Here is the first two pages. And this one is probably the closest of all of the three that I was able to put together, of course, because you're doing the first ones. As you can see here, I substituted for the doilies. And then I also had to do some punching of the various paper scraps in order to be able to layer up as much as they had layered up. The other thing I did is for the pine sprigs or pine needles there, I had a die in my stash that I was able to use. And then I substituted various things. For example, this is a doodlebug envelope that I cut, and since it had a scalloped top, I just tucked it in here. And then over here, I cut a punch shape out of that same paper. I had to make my own remember, and I did the same here for the Cuddle Weather card, journaling card. And then I was also using some from my stash, some various other, I think they were leftover Hope and Kindness die cuts and just some plain craft die cuts from close to my heart. So that also helped me stretch. And then, of course, here, this is just letter stickers. I believe these are simple stories, maybe. So that was the easiest one, although it was very time consuming to make all of those changes, all of those substitutions. Okay, and then here's the next one. I did not do the optional mist on the background. Okay, now this particular paper is mink, just like it was called for, so I think this worked out really good. Here, instead of using doilies, I had some leftover Cherish embellishments. I think they were a freebie in one of the VIP freebie offers earlier last year. So I used that here, and it's sort of that, it might have even been rosemary color, but it's a sort of blue-gray. And then here I used some chalk ink because I did not have the distress ink it called for. And then again here, instead of a doily, I had another one of these snowflakes. And then just a little bit of changes here. And then a few little stickers from my stash. And this was a punch. I punched this out. And then over here, this again was from the Cherish. So that one turned out pretty well too. I was kind of happy with how that all ended up laying out. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. Sorry to be sniffling. Here. Now on this one, I actually went to a mix-in from last fall. This was the layout that called for French vanilla. And while they called for French vanilla for a lot of these journal strips and journal boxes too, I actually thought that I had an off-white that was closer, so I didn't actually use French vanilla. I used an off-white color. This one here, I had to punch all of these, so that used up quite a bit of my scraps. And then I added in some circle elements, some from the sticker sheet and some other ones I had. And then again here, we've got the pine sprigs and some more cherish flowers here. So again, I was able to do all the substitutions here, and it turned out great, but boy, it took a long time. These were some very time-intensive pages. And then last but not least would be, this is my own design that I was going to use. Again, here I started with Mixin as the background paper, because I thought it would help to make all 8 pages look like they went together. And then here you can see I used the negative from punching out my sprigs. And it's not very pretty, but you can see I used it to ink some light rosemary cardstock here and here. And then basically I just lined up zip strips and paper. And some of these zip strips are actually, I think all 3 of these are from the Mixin papers. And since I had one piece of vertical paper here in the music and one horizontal, I do a thing I often do is I just sort of mirror this, just going the opposite way. Here I actually had to add in some die cuts from a P13 that had been in my winter embellishments stash. So again, this turned out real good. This frame, this little frame over here that's tucked. And then I just made sure I used the 3 stickers. So I ended up using absolutely every sticker on the sticker sheet. But close to my heart, since they're making their stickers bigger, it's really hard to get that 4th double just using stickers from the sticker sheet. You're going to have to add in a few more things than you used to. But I was real happy with how this turned out. Again, it was very time consuming, but if you've got more time than money, you could absolutely get the Mixin, the paper pack, and the sticker sheet. And I would also recommend getting the embellishment pack. I forgot to order that when I ordered the paper pack and sticker sheet, and I was able to work around it. Okay, that's all I have for today. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. Bye for a bit.